Hello and welcome to Maltbox, the non-chill filtered whiskey blog. I'm Andy and this is Whiskey Review 102. What I have for you today is an Irish blended whiskey from a new boy on the block. It comes in the form of this. Hinch 5-year-old triple distilled double cask whiskey, double wood whiskey should I say, I do apologise. So this is bottled at 43%. It is a combination of both Irish grain and Irish malt whiskies. Now, Hinch Distillery is located in Northern Ireland. It is not yet operational and fully going yet. So this is basically a combination of whiskies that they bought as previously distilled stocks from other companies. So I believe this contains a mixture of Cooley and Great Northern Distillery malt and grain accordingly. It's bottled at 43%, triple distilled. I'm unsure as to whether it's chill filtered. I believe it is natural colour, and there is that colour for you. Some slow legs on the glass there. One disclaimer, I actually got this as part of my pack for the Somerton Whisky Festival that I presented at or guest hosted. So I was provided with this sample as part of that pack, and therefore I might as well say that just because I was provided with this sample does not mean that it will be getting a favourable review. There we are. And can I just say what a great day the Somerton Virtual Whisky Festival was. I hope that you were one of the guys that were there, but if you weren't, you missed a great day. Very well done to Dan for organising a successful festival. Well done, mate. I was on first with New Dram Drinker and Luke at Bimber, so I looked at the new Bimber release, or the upcoming Bimber release, which I'm very excited about. And basically, yeah, so I could only dip in and out, so I still had this sample left. And here we are, I can use it to review, happy days. So, 43% triple distilled, double cask, double wood. I will get it right eventually, probably after this review. But basically the reason it's called double wood, it is being matured in ex-bourbon and then spent a finishing period in virgin oak. On the nose. Ooh. Ooh. Sorry. There you go. I think it's one of those whiskies that's got to be in the glass for a minute. It's got to mellow out a little bit. It's quite prickly, quite astringent initially. So let's just give it a little bit of air. Give it a little bit of air. I have as well only just opened this, bearing in mind it is a small sample bottle, so. Ah yeah, there we go. It's mellowing out a bit now. That's the thing with whiskey. You need to give it time. Something that I'm sometimes limited with the reviews, because otherwise you'd be sat here for 40 minutes on some occasions before I even took a sip. Right, okay, so on the nose, a lot of lemon. I'd say citrus, but specifically it is lemon. There's kind of a model glue kind of smell. As a teenager I used to do those little Warhammer figures and plain models and stuff, and it smells like the sort of plastic glue that I used to use for that. Some modelling glue. Dry shreddies, which sounds insane, but there's no like creaminess in there to an extent. Well, I can't get any creaminess in there. It's very sort of like drying. It's very cereal led, hence the sort of dry shreddies. It makes sense in my head, guys. Honestly, it makes sense in my head. It's only when it comes out my mouth that it sounds stupid. Brown sugar. Going back to cereals, don't know if you remember these guys when I was a kid. Sugar Puffs. Can you believe it? Sugar Puffs. There's a little bit of creaminess coming through, but predominantly for me it is sort of led and dominated by that lemon, that glue, and the sort of like cereal aspects. It is still quite drying. It's a little bit astringent, as I say, which, you know, again, back down to that glue thing. Becoming a little bit fruity towards the back. I think sort of like green fruit, something quite soft, like a pear or something like that. So nothing too crisp and nothing too sort of like tart. It is it's quite soft, that fruit. And a little bit of vanilla as well. Okay. On the palate, I'm just checking something. Okay, on the palate there's a little bit more vanilla. You've still got that citrus. It's quite floral going into the finish. There's a bit of honey in that finish as well. It's quite, what's the word? Clean, I think is probably the word that I'd use. It's very crisp, very clean. A little bit prickly, possibly a little bit sort of ill at ease with itself, arguably. I think, saying that, the palate is sort of very sort of atypical in a sense with traditionally associated Irish blended whiskies such as Jameson. It's clean, it's got a kind of nice minerality to it, you've got the vanilla in there, there's a bit of citrus, maybe a little bit of fruitiness, and for me again dominated by that cereal note. Now what I was just checking before, after I poured the last bit in my mouth, was the price. So this retails at the moment for about 40 quid. So Master of Malt, it's £40.95. The Whisky Exchange £39.95. So yeah, you're looking at about 40 quid basically. What I'd probably say about the finish as well, I've not gone to the finish yet. I did mention that honey before. Again, quite clean, a little bit short, becomes sweeter as it goes on. There's vanilla coming out on that palate as well. I would be very interested to see what the guys at Hinch do with their own stuff. Obviously this isn't whiskey that they've actually distilled themselves. For me, I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan, but that's just me. It's got a lot of positives. You know, I said the palate was quite smooth, it was quite easy drinking, and it is that. I mean, it is a nice easy drinking whiskey. It's bottled at 43%, which I think has packed it some punch. I think it's probably a good job that it wasn't bottled at 40%. I think for me it's a little bit imbalanced, to be honest with you. I think those guys also produce a couple of other whiskies that are doing really well. You know, I mean, they're obviously sat on a lot of stock at the minute that they bought in to try and keep the funding going until they're up and running. And obviously, realistically, even if they start distilling tomorrow, they've got years before they see the benefit of their initial investment. So this is why distilleries such as Hinch are doing things like that. You've had the guys in Ireland, the big boys, Bushmills, Cooley, etc., West Cork distillers, been around for years and they've been producing whiskey. They've had a bit of a monopoly, and the Irish whiskey scene has really exploded in the last 10 years or so. You've got distilleries popping up left, right and centre, and it's great. It's fantastic that they're giving the big boys a bit of competition, because it means that they're going to be producing small batch, high quality spirits, and that will give some of the bigger guys something to think about. So I think it's a case of watch this space for Hinch. 40 quid, I'd probably take a punt on it if it was a little bit less than that. just as sort of like an everyday sipper or something to put in a highball or something, which I'm actually probably going to do with that now. So I've got about half the sample left, and I am a big fan of highballs. Nice, easy drinking cocktail, if you can call ginger ale and whiskey a cocktail. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you very much for watching. See you soon.